Hello everyone and welcome back to the island of Elba. Last time we expanded our traffic all around the western part of the island. And today I think we're gonna do the same over here. But before we do that, I think our airport just really needs a little bit of TLC. So let's go ahead and actually do that. So I want to utilize this area a little bit more. And if I'm not mistaken, there's actually quite a bit of fertile land over this way. So I think what we're going to do, we do have this like outcrop here, which I don't know if we're actually going to properly utilize, but I think this area will actually be enough to supply 2 farms. We could do one livestock farm and one vegetable farm, or actually split this part up into 2 farms as well. We'd have a livestock that utilizes part of that area that goes up here. Well, I don't know if we can fully make use of it because it is so close to the airport. And then something like this. So we'll figure this out as we're going along. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I had created sort of a little pathway down the hill, and I am mistaken. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of grading. We're gonna go from up here down there, following sort of the ridge or the back of that hill to make it a little bit easier. I'm gonna expand a road out the front along the shore. So we're going to push that a little bit further back, or maybe, and at the same time probably remove that little hill to have easy access in these directions. So based on that, let's just go for it. Alright, I think overall this will do. There are some smaller changes that I want to implement. Now that I've said this is all of it, I'm gonna have a little stop over here for a farm, and I think we're gonna push out the soil on this area. Now, as we had taken off that hill right there, we're gonna just assume that we filled in that bay area a bit more, because we needed an area, in a sense, to just drop all of, all of that soil. So just like that, let's have a look at the fertility again. We do have quite a bit of fertility over here. Just need to make sure that our farm is not in the water. And then we have fertility up here, which will cover the majority of this. And actually, maybe we're placing our farm over this way, and just making sure that this edge right here is actually fully above sea level. All right, if we do that, we should be able to just take a alleyway just down here, and that in theory should allow us to place a farm on this side. Right, with this, we actually have a ton of farming area that we've gained. Now, I think I want this part here to be for our livestock. This part here would then become our grain. And what else do we have? Vegetables could actually go in this corner right there. And cotton, actually maybe we turn this into cotton, and the stuff up there into vegetable farming. All right, I'm just gonna place this and try to, in a sense, maximize the area that we're using for farming. I'm gonna shut up a little bit and just do that in the background. All right, I think overall that looks pretty good. Now we do have a little bit of emptiness over here, but I think that is fine. But usually I would think the farm would also utilize this area, but I don't want to extend the animal farm over this way. So I also want to have a quick look at the airport. We're gonna just assign or like give all of that to it. So small shops to increase the comfort. We're gonna add the business lounge and the cargo terminal. So it's for space to store cargo. Now I don't want the rail tracks, but the truck terminal makes a ton of sense. So we are just gonna implement that so they can actually start shipping, well, cargo. And we're also gonna have a look. There is actually cargo routes. However, as it stands right now, there are no terminals, I think, available. Is that correct? Let's give that a go. Oh, we actually, never mind. We do have separate cargo terminals. So I think one would go to the main island of Italy. I feel like they would want that. Let's go from here again. Over this way. And then back in here. Okay, so that worked. And I think one would go from here towards Europe. Oh, look at that. We haven't actually connected this one up, so let's connect this one up. There we go. And with that, our airport terminal is fully connected. Again, it's a bit of a shame with the train tracks, as we're not gonna be utilizing that. Alright, in addition, I want to make sure that our starting and landing area are completely void of trees. Bushes are okay, rocks are okay, so I don't mind that. And this over here, we're actually going to remove those trees, also these as well. And actually, I'm going to demolish this section of our village right here. It doesn't quite make sense to have that in here because this will be part of, in a sense, airspace. And in case anything were to happen to the plane, you want to have a relatively free area for landing. Well, crashing, I guess. Regardless, hey, you guys know what I mean. Well, maybe at least. Alright, also gonna remove the trees over here. We'll have a few built in, or like leave them on the hill. But this way, it's a relatively clear approach that our planes can take. And I think I'm actually going to move this even further back. So let's go and plug that road over this way. Bulldoze all of these and make sure there's no zoning left in these areas. Again, just to keep a little bit of extra space. Now, these areas are pretty loud and it is a very busy airport. I mean, look how many planes are actually coming in there. But I think overall it is okay. So in addition to that, it might be beneficial to have a few office buildings actually along the airport. Those that have international connections, I think, would appreciate being a bit closer to their international transport. So just gonna add this extra route in there. And now I do have people driving in this way. Do I want that? Actually, I probably don't. So let's make sure this is moving out only. Upgrade this to the regular one. And then we're just going to set another road in here. that will allow us to expand our zoning a bit more along this way. Connect that into here. So we have almost like a little roundabout way. And then we're gonna look into our offices. And while I think high density would be kind of fun, I don't think we're really gonna do that. I forgot which densities offices we had actually placed here. And I think those are the French offices. Let's stick with the low density around the airport. I think that makes a little bit more sense. Just gonna fill this all up. Well, not all, but a good chunk of it up. To, again, give, well, first of all, let us reduce our zoning demand. We could, in addition to the offices, actually introduce some additional low-density industry. As long as there's no smoke coming out of these, I'm actually fine with it. And we're also just making sure that this zoning is turned off for all intents and purposes, which allows us to place a little bit more industry on this side. All right, we're gonna see how this all sprawls in. Let's also have a look at what the issue with offices is. No issue. Cool. Another tornado. Seriously, every single time. Alright, this is good. This looks good too. This does not look good. So let's go in here. Make sure that's only 2 wide. Now that this is filling in, we can place the next one. I'm pretty sure they will actually be all very much with smoke coming out. So let's go ahead. Yeah, look at this one. Let's go ahead and manually zone them. Keep a space in between them, because I guess ultimately, why not? There's more offices zoning in here. I do appreciate that. And this, all in all, actually looks pretty decent. All right, with that, our... Oh, I'm glad we haven't built there yet. Our airport looks like it's coming a little bit better together. All right. Let's have a quick look, actually. Cargo is filling up. Trucks are in use, so all in all, that is good. Okay, I think our airport is done. So with that, I mean, done is probably a bit overstated, but it looks more like in a nicer area with actually a purpose. So let's go ahead and plan a little bit of our expansion over this way. All right, so first what's going to happen is I'm going to go around, and wherever I see a possible area to plateau things out, that's exactly what I'm going to do. For example, here, there's already almost a plateau. So I'm going to expand this a little bit. And then smooth the edges out a bit more, which will give us a pretty nice area to, well, connect into. I think in order to connect this up, we're going to use the roundabout over here and try to move up to this way. So let's actually already plan this. We would want to probably actually head straight up to this area right here. Make sure we're getting about the same height. And then from there, we're just gonna smoothly, well, more or less smoothly, go over this way, and then we're going to smooth over the rough edges we've just created, which will give us enough of a space to turn the road into. I'm fully aware that this will actually destroy one of the buildings. I'm okay with that. And I'm gonna go around the entire island and do things like this, similar to what we've done with the west side of Elba. We're gonna now do with the east side. So no need for me to keep talking through that. I will be right back. All right. With that, we have fully connected our road network. So now it's time to place a little bit of zoning area. But I have also kind of fixed that area right here. Well, fixed might be a strong statement. Modified the area over here to allow, well, first of all, our road to just continue straight ahead. I had upgraded this to a 2-lane road from all the way over here. So we can very easily continue this pathway, well, down that place where we've just been building the entire time. Let me zone in a little bit over here already. That's in part the stuff that was destroyed. So we're just gonna, for no reason, assume that as a city we offered the people to actually go somewhere else. And we would totally build them a new house to their liking. Yeah, right. Anyways, with that, I'm gonna let this zone in now. And there's a bit more zoning that needs to be fixed over here. And I'm gonna go around and place more areas for our citizens to build. So, gonna be quiet for that as well. And I will see you in a little bit. Alright, and with that we are done, well, with this part. So let's do a little bit of commercial zoning. And I'll be right back. Alright, that was already it for commercial zoning. Back into our menu and let's place some more parks for our citizens to enjoy. And I will focus a little bit more on playgrounds, because I think that would be appreciated overall, wherever it's possible. But we're going to sprinkle in some dog parks, because, you know, people love dogs. And that is it, followed now by some actual residential zoning. So I'm quite excited about this. And of course, it is nighttime. That's apparently what we do. We zone at night. Anyways, let's just go ahead and do some of those. Alright, it's all zoned in. Next step, just sprinkle some more love in between with some trees, just to make it look a little bit more together. And it seems like we have a power issue. Of course we do. Because why wouldn't we? Well, let's have a quick look at these. We are just gonna add the full upgrades to them. Although this will not last for too long. I think it is time for us to place a few more. Just to have our entire city be a little bit better equipped to handle the power demand. Well, the big question would be where to place these. And maybe we could actually place them along here. And you know what? Let's do that. So we're gonna go into the zoning, even though I just wanted to make it look a little bit nicer just now. Here we go. This is a halfway up. Gonna make that a little bit less intense. Gonna have a road, an alleyway going all the way up here. And then up there, we're just gonna flatten out a little bit of an area. That will allow us to place a couple more of our wind power turbines. And by a couple, I honestly apparently meant two. Oh boy. Let's make sure we will actually be able to get around there. That went a bit downhill. Don't want to do that. Buttoning this out a little bit. Then putting a road, well, alleyway straight through. Place one more right there. Immediately going to add the advanced rotor system for the extra power. And for whatever reason, this did not connect. So we're gonna just connect this up to the road. All right, and that should solve our power crisis, and we can go back to planting some trees. And now that I see these, I actually don't think they're realistic, so you guys are gonna disappear. And with that, we are done on this side. So all that is left is take some inventory by trying to follow someone, here we go, who is driving along this way. Besides that, thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.